It is important to understand when a trend starts or when a reversal begins. And so this video is about the beginning of trends or the start of a trend. And I'm going to, on the chart I am in Apple. The yellow line is August of 2016. And I am going to begin over here on the left with this red vertical line. The trend red is in a BOC pattern. It happens to be a BOC lower pattern, and it has not crossed over green, trend green. And you may have heard me mention on other videos, trend red is the #1 indicator that we watch. We glance at that indicator first before we glance at others. It just tells us, it just gives us a whole lot of information. But in any case, the vertical red line on the left here is the typical way that you might say the classic way that a trend up starts, with trend red in this BOC lower pattern, staying under green the first day. The second day this one crosses over green, and there's nothing significant about this uptrend other than I wanted to make you aware of how trends typically start the majority of time, I guess. It's this other red line here in the middle. This has a trend red in a BOC pattern. It has also crossed the green line on the same day, and the trend red is a BOC higher pattern. And the higher pattern tells us about greater market strength or pressure inside of the movement. Unlike the initial first one we looked at, there is not much of a climb there in those few days that it did go up. And I guess I should comment, rightly so. I mean, look at the evidence that we have. With this one on the left, we have the trend trio, blue, pink, and yellow, up above zero and going down. So that's telling us we're going into a downtrend. But the narrow lines, the red and trend red and green, we have a short rally, goes up, but obviously not significantly. Whereas over here on the right red vertical line, we have the trend trio under zero, and there are two other strong indications as well. Zip yellow and power yellow are both lowest and going up. When those two are both lowest and going up, we can stay in that trade until one of those two disappears, if you want to. Or if you see something, obviously I'm going to move this yellow line over here. Obviously on this day right here, we are in a pink-green top. The zip pink has popped out above the other lines, and if you've heard me discuss pink-green tops, that is an indication. The very first day that happens, the following day the price goes down. Now, that would therefore be the day that you would get out of the trade, and you could avoid the downturn of the following day. However, zip yellow and power yellow are both lowest and going up. So you need to read your signals and identify and know when things are going down. There's also another significant signal on the yellow line. Trend red has turned sideways on the yellow vertical line day. Trend gray is actually coming down even though we have a green candle. So both of those lines tell us that we are, the trend red tells us we're in a low angle down or low angle up. If I spread it out a little, it's a low angle up. And so we know from low angle ups the next day typically goes down. Trend gray obviously is in a TOC pattern, and it would go down tomorrow. So, and I'm not going to go into the others. There's examples in both the power and the swing chart. I don't even have the price chart on this chart right now. So that you can see the difference between the first red line that was a BOC lower. There wasn't as much market pressure or strength in the push because the red trend BOC line did not go very high, whereas over here the red trend line was higher than the other line from 2 days ago, trend red position. So that's a BOC higher pattern, and it crossed. You can get higher patterns, but they don't cross over green. When it crosses over green, that's a significant indication for an uptrend. And as we have that, so we see there's 3 more days of green candles after that trend red crosses over the green. Going over to the green line, we have the trend red crossing under the trend green and going down, and that tells us we're going into a downtrend. We also can see that we're in a TOC pattern for the second day on the trend gray, and we're in a pink green top pattern on the zip chart. And just a observation as well, if you haven't noticed it before, in issues with parallel lines, and really the only key parallel lines that we watch are the trend red and the trend green. Others are have similar attributes, but trend red and trend green are really solid a vast majority of the time in their reaction to the price. So when trend red has gone under green, you're heading for a downtrend. When trend red crosses over green, you are heading into an uptrend. Easy way to track yourself: wait for the signal, like this yellow line indicates the signal. On this green vertical line, we go short and we get into the stock, and we go down for, looks like 4 or 5 days to the pink line. And what's the signal for the pink line? Trend red is in a low angle down, which is a high probability for next day up. And in fact, it has a huge gap up the next day. But we also have more indications. We have the power red and the zip Zion, in both of those in low angle downs. Those are your big 3. That's a real powerful indication, and the huge gap up tells us that. Also, we're in a pink-green bottom here with zip pink next to the green, and if you're not familiar with it, pink-green bottoms have to have zip pink next to the green as a condition before they rise up. There are very few exceptions to that rule. Some of them involve zip Zion. When zip Zion and zip green are together, that's a difference. The other thing, let me mention, if you're not familiar with it, zip green is it tracks buyers in and out of the stock. Zip Zion tracks buyers in and out of the stock. What does zip pink do? Zip Pink is a price barometer. It follows the price. And so the combination of those two tells us a lot. And if you're not familiar with what these indicators do, go to the definitions, read them, copy pages, whatever you need, lay them on your desk and refer to them until you become familiar with what these different indicators are about. Because there's a lot of information just looking at a line. It's not just a green line. It's telling you about market flow. It's telling you about buyers going in and out of the stock. When Zip Green is at 0, they're leaving. When Zip Zion is at 0, they're really leaving. Likewise, when Zip Zion is at 100, you've got a lot of people coming into the stock. So the last one I want to share with you is this blue line over here. And again, this one has some unique features to it. The day before this blue line, in fact, I'm going to push the blue line over right there. On this day right here, again, we're in a big 3 scenario. Trend red is in a spike down, and zip red, yellow, gray, blue are all in low angle downs. Power red is in a low angle down, and swing Zion is in a low angle down. So you have when you add zip red to the formula, it becomes the big 4. You may not be familiar with those, with the big 3 or the big 4, but those 3 and 4 give us a lot of information, and when they are responding as all being the lowest or real close to the lowest, or in low angle down patterns, next day is going to be up strong, and typically several days after that are going to be strong, as is this case. So the sensitive indicators will tell you a lot. They give you information that I have yet to discover another system that has the accuracy and especially the ability to see the strength of a push. I mean, nobody in the marketplace that I'm aware of has that ability. So there's a lot of just powerful information in these indicators. If you haven't read the history on how the system got developed, you really should read the history. It gives you the end of it. I plugged in the 3-step formula. I have that separate in the documents index. You can read that separately. But do read the history, because it shares with you how we started with certain things and how we ended up, and it just gives you a lot of insight into how the system is functioning. Even the themes, the chart themes, the wide lines move slow and the narrow lines move fast. There's themes running through gaps. There's other types of themes that run through the system. So continue reading, continue listening to videos, become familiar with the system. It's absolutely a fantastic system. I'm grateful that you're watching it. I encourage you to look at more, and I do encourage you to read.